first live Facebook stream here on, I guess I should say Facebook, right? For whatever reason, we are not able to broadcast live video from Facebook itself, but so I'm doing a jailbreak. I'm gonna call it a jailbreak broadcast, but shout out to all of those who follow us or follow our page, connecting you to independent black media, Black Talk Radio Network here on Facebook. This is our Facebook page. So this is my first broadcast. I want to talk about something that I've talked about in a couple of videos in the past couple of weeks, and that is about the genocide that is occurring in the Philippines right now. And I have to say that I am pretty appalled by some of the reactions to that genocide that I have been coming across. If you don't know what I'm talking about the mad dog of the Philippines, Duterte. What's his name? Rodrigo Duterte, who is the president of the Philippines, became president in June of 2016. So about 6 months this man has been president, and 6,000 people accused of being substance abusers, people needing help, people also accused of selling drugs, and they have been just murdering these people on the street. And some of the reactions to this, or responses to this human rights crisis that's going on in the Philippines by some of the people I've come across on social media or who have posted comments on the content I have produced on this subject. And one person said, why should I care? They're not black, so why should I care? Well, again, I can see a white racist person, a racist cracker, saying the same thing. All of these police gunning down these black males in the street, unarmed black males with their hands up. Why should I care? Why should I even care? So, I mean, really, the energy that you put out there does come back to you. So I am concerned about the human rights violations. I am an abolitionist. I'm against slavery, all forms of slavery, and many of the ills connected to slavery, which is genocide. And that is what's occurring over there in the Philippines. Now, I got a comment today. I want to share this with you. I had posted in our own social media community, which you can find at btrcommunity.com, a social media platform that was built specifically for black people online. But I posted I shared what I posted on btrcommunity.com to my personal Facebook page. And this person wrote this, and I'm seeing this response on YouTube videos as well. People saying that this is propaganda, that this is fake news, if you will, coming out of the Philippines. Now, I've been doing independent news reporting for, 8 years now, going into my 9th year. And believe me, I have more professionalism to check these sources, get various sources before I report on something as being a fact. So give me a little bit of credit, being that I've been doing this for so long. But this is what a person wrote today on this post on Facebook. It says, leave the man alone, talking about the mad dog of the Philippines, Duterte, President Duterte. Leave the man alone. That's his people. I don't think you know the whole truth. It's propaganda. Why would he want to enslave 9-year-old children? Find the truth and come back to me. So what they're referring to, and I'm going to play a couple of video clips for you to give you some reports from the Philippines. And first of all, like I just said, I do my research. I do confirm these things. And it's pretty hard to hide it when you're killing that many people. It's going to get outside of the country, just like how many people been killed in the United States by slave catchers in 2016. Go to killbypolice.net. You can get the latest figures. I'm sure it's over 1,000. So how does that information get out? So I have no doubt about the reports coming out of the Philippines that 6,000 people, and it's probably higher than that, have been killed by police, the Filipino military, under the orders and direction of this man who has self-described himself as Hitler and had praise for Hitler. And then Trump also praised this man and saying he likes what he's doing, a great job. So think about that. Think about that mentality. Could that be here in the United States? Could Trump do that? No, I don't think so, because too many people own arms here in the United States. And if they started on doing something like that, they will have hell on their hands. But I don't know about gun rights in the Philippines, and I don't know if these people really have a means to protect themselves and what have you. So basically what's happening is they're being slaughtered. Now, to the question about the 9-year-old that they raised, there are reports coming out that the Filipino legislature, their Congress, if you will, is rushing through some legislation to lower the, what would we call it here in the United States, where they charge you as an adult, to lower the age to where a person will be considered a juvenile. See, there's supposed to be two different systems, one for adults, one for juveniles, because we want to take to account that juveniles can be used by adults. Juveniles' brains are not fully developed to where they can make good decisions. And so they want to lower the age to 9 years old to where they can charge 9-year-olds as adults for drug crimes. Okay? So let's run a couple of videos in case you have not been paying attention to this story. But let's throw up a couple of videos here. Yeah, this is the videos about the 9-year-olds. So let's go ahead and roll that.
A juvenile centre on the outskirts of Manila, home to kids who've been caught up in crime. But life here could soon change as Filipino lawmakers rush to pass a bill to lower the age of criminal liability from 16 to as young as 9. That would give kids like 14-year-old Brian, a former drugs courier, a criminal record.
People make mistakes, especially children. Some children don't really know that getting involved in drugs is wrong. They think their friends are encouraging them, and it's okay. But to be labelled as criminals, I think that's really wrong.
But not according to Rodrigo Duterte. The Filipino president wants to bring down the age of criminal responsibility as part of his war on drugs.
Ask any policeman will produce a generation of criminals, because when a child is caught and they say they're below 15 or 16, the police must release them immediately, whatever crime that child has committed.
Filipinos have had mixed reactions to the proposed bill, with one social worker saying kids should be helped so they don't grow up to be criminals, while others echo their crime-busting leader. This lady says the law is badly needed because adult criminals can use children to do their dirty work, knowing that they won't be jailed. Duterte has also proposed a nationwide curfew for minors, as well as bringing back capital punishment. Friday marks 6 months since the president came to power, ushering in a wave of extrajudicial killings for anyone involved in the drug trade. Half a year on, Filipinos see no sign of an end to the bloodshed.
So we're having people that's even doubting these reports just because it may be carried by CNN or some of what we do know, what I call corporate state-sponsored propaganda outlets. But sometimes they also have to mix in some truth, or, you know, people might catch on to all the lies that they tell. But these reports have been confirmed and being reported on by international media. It's not just American media that has been reporting on this. These have been international reports. And so just the last lady that they talk about, now she says that these are young children and adults are using them. So yes, let's criminalize the children and punish them just like the adults, and then going along with Mad Dog Duterte, that this will prevent another generation of criminals. You know what prevent a generation of criminals? Tackling the poverty issue. All right. I'm pretty candid about my past. All right. And there are things called crimes of survival. People who are shut out of the mainstream economy and they do what they have to do in order to survive. I don't know what kind of help people are getting in the Philippines. Poor people are getting, but I understand that being poor is a universal language. But I'm just so disgusted with people who would suggest such a thing, that we should criminalize 9 years old. This is the way that the system here in the United States has operated for a long time, and there has been a major movement for juvenile justice in this country. But this is egregious. So if they gunning down teenagers and adults for being suspected drug dealers or even drug users, all right, do you not think they're going to be gunning down these 9-year-olds as well? They've already killed some children, and how anybody can turn a blind eye to this is disgusting to me. You have a very evil spirit that you can just ignore this and not speak out about it. Okay? And so, but I'm going to be candid about my background, and I may have talked about this on my radio program, but I lived in Detroit for a while, moved up there. My parents moved me up there when I was 2 years old, stayed there till I was about 12. Well, anybody from Detroit that was around during the 70s and in the 80s, I left in 79, would know about Young Boys Incorporated. That was a drug gang that targeted youth, juveniles, to deal drugs because of they were talking about, the less harsher penalties that a juvenile would face as an adult. So then they would target poor kids, entice them, coerce them to deal drugs. These are grown adults manipulating children. I was one of those children. And thankfully, my parents was able to get me out that life by moving back here to North Carolina and home. So that could have been me. And so you may not use drugs, but like many families, you may have some drug users, substance abusers, people who need help. It's a mental and a medical issue. How would you feel about your relatives being dragged out and shot down in the streets like a dog? Talking about destroying families, my goodness. And so this man is a mad dog. And if he travels outside that country, somebody should arrest him under international law. Again, I think that their laws are a farce, or I should say the enforcement of the laws that's on the books are a farce. They're very selective about who they prosecute. George Bush, Dick Cheney have not been prosecuted for their crimes. For that matter, Obama and Clinton haven't been prosecuted for their crimes in Libya and Syria and other parts of Africa, in Yemen and what have you. So this is why I have no respect for authority. This mad dog should be arrested if he steps foot into any country that is part of the ICC, the International Criminal Court, which is a joke, by the way. But this is the world that we live in, to the point that even people accept the murder of children or the enslavement of children through criminal laws. It's slavery. Here in the United States, it's legal. I don't know what their constitution says in the Philippines, but slavery is still legal here in the United States, according to the 13th Amendment of the Constitution. But this man is a murdering mad dog. And it says a lot to me that Donald Trump reportedly would endorse what this man is doing. You look at the people that he's appointing to his cabinet, specifically Jeff Sessions, who is one of these drug warrior types. But now we have a video of a hitman who used to work with Mad Dog Duterte back when he was a mayor, and is giving evidence or testimony, if you will, on his knowledge of Duarte's participation in murders. Let's go ahead and pull that up and play that.
Edgar Matobato says he and Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte have something in common. They both have blood on their hands.
Sa akin, ma'am, gusto kong pababayarin.
I want him to pay for what he did, for the many killings he ordered, he says. If we bring back the death penalty, I hope Duterte is the first to hang, and then I will follow. Decades before the president took his bloody war on drugs nationwide, Matabato says he was part of a group known in the Philippines as the Davao Death Squad. A 2008 UN investigation found the shadowy band of assassins was committing hundreds of murders in Davao, targeting street children and criminals, all during Duterte's decades-long run as the southern city's gun-toting, crime-fighting mayor, beginning in 1988.
Sa personal ko mismo,
I personally killed around 50 people, Matabato says.
Ito 2002.
He shows us a journal with names and dates of some of his victims, written by his wife because he can't read or write. Matabato also showed his Davao City ID. He says he was a ghost employee, earning just $100 a month to murder on command.
Who was ordering the death squad to kill all these people?
May utos na yan kami.
We got the orders from Mayor Duterte, he says. CNN cannot verify his story, but Matabato...
Okay, now I'm going to stop it right there. We don't need to really hear any more, because some people, why would this man even show his face and confess to these crimes and even suggest that he deserves to hang for what he did? Why would this man, you know, I can understand your skepticism if they had blurred his face, but who would confess to such a thing? All right, who would confess to such a thing and put a target on them like that? And he's keeping journals. Yes, I believe this is credible, a credible report. So I just want to say I am glad that USA Inc., for those who don't know that term, I'm talking about the United States of America Incorporated, decided to cut off the welfare funds to the Filipinos and to suspend the I think it was something like 60,000 rifles along with ammunition that they were about to give to the Filipino military that is also participating in this. So right now what we're seeing is we don't have to imagine what must it been like in the 1940s and 30s and 40s during Nazi Germany. Because it wasn't just Jews that was being killed. It was other Germans being killed for their political affiliations, for whether or not they have physical or mental disabilities. This is all well documented. So these people say, well, those are his own people. I mean, really, is that an excuse for genocide? So I guess the Rwanda genocide was okay, because, oh, that was his own people, the people that committed the genocide that the world ignored so long in Rwanda and nobody said nothing. I guess it was okay in not Sudan, I'm thinking, yes, Darfur. Back when I first got into reporting back in 2007, some of my comrades that I was working with, co-hosting programs, we did extensive coverage on the Darfur genocide and helped to bring attention to that to the forefront. So again, this is another one of those instances of a human rights crisis. And yes, they are happening all over the world, but we don't have to ignore any of them. And so again, I am glad that USA Inc. suspended. Think about this. Malcolm X used to be hooked on drugs, for all y'all people who want to take the moral high ground and act like y'all so much better than people because y'all don't use this or y'all never use that. Malcolm X used to be, I think he was hooked on heroin. I could be mistaken about that. Good thing Elijah Muhammad didn't say, you know what, we ought to murder all the black people that's hooked on drugs in the black community. What if he said something? What if that was their approach to dealing with the drug problem in the community? And like Malcolm X said in a speech in Harlem, that black people aren't bringing the drugs into the country or bringing it into the community. We know who's bringing it into the community, so we don't blame the victims. So again, many 9-year-old children, those are victims. And poverty will force you to do things you don't want to do. What is the poverty index in Philippines? Maybe if everybody had a means to support themselves, or if the government was providing basic needs and services, people wouldn't feel the need to sell drugs so that they can eat, so they can have a roof over their head, so that they can put clothes on their backs. So we don't have to, again, go back in time travel to wonder how so many people could stand by and watch their fellow countrymen or just human beings anywhere on the planet be murdered like that. Don't think this can't happen in the United States. You already got Donald Trump praising this mad dog. We already know of the police terrorism and slave catching that's going on right here. What if that encourages more extrajudicial killings as the slave catchers here in the United States take their cue from Donald Trump praising this dude? Never think that genocide cannot come to your door, your immediate doorstep. So anyway, thank you for watching my first Facebook live stream. May do some more in the future, but we mainly broadcast on YouTube, or check out our YouTube channel, Black Talk Media or Black Talk Radio. Type that in the search engine. But of course, check us out at our broadcasting home and Black media platform, blacktalkradionetwork.com. Got to stand up for justice, okay? Got to speak out against injustice, no matter who it's against, and no matter who's committing the injustices. You have to speak out. Got to stand up. You got to be counted. So if you're one of those people that think like Duterte and you have no empathy for victims all over the planet, please remove yourself from my circles, because I don't need that kind of energy in my life. To everybody else, especially the abolitionists out there, peace and blessings.